Hey guys, welcome to Whiskey and RPGs. My name is Solomon SK. I do apologize for being gone for so long. Long story short, my grandmother passed away last week and her funeral was yesterday. And because of that, I wasn't able to upload, but I do want to do something a little different today with you guys, so if you don't mind. Not only do I want to say one last toast to my grandmother, but in the overall scheme of things, I think it's really good to recognize that, we should probably connect with those whom we haven't say I love you to in a very long time. And also, life is, sorry to be a little stereotypical, but life is definitely short, and I encourage you guys to, do something that you probably don't have confidence in doing. For me, it's making a YouTube channel and becoming a successful Twitch streamer. Maybe that's your dream as well. I would encourage you to follow those dreams, and hey, even DM me. Maybe we could do this together. Or maybe it's something else. I don't know. But in any event, cheers to you guys. Cheers to my grandmother. And yeah. Whoa. Oh, that's adding another hour to my editing time. Anyways, let's just get started. Cheers, everyone. So first bit of news, the first ever convention for Path of Exile was held from November 16th through the 17th in Auckland, New Zealand. We could take a look at massivelyop.com and their coverage. They did a really nice job of bringing to light all the new and exciting things that are happening. First and foremost, Path of Exile 2, also known as Path of Exile 4.0. Now, from what I gathered, it's really not a sequel, rather a huge content update for the original game, so you still need the same game client. They're also implementing different storylines for all the various characters already in the game. These storylines for Path of Exile 2 characters will be from the future, but the endgame content and loot will still be shared regardless of where you started. They're also adding metamorphoses to the game where you could change shapes into different animals. Certain classes will have a better time with certain animals because of their skills, but luckily there won't be any class restrictions or animal restrictions, and you could still experiment all you'd like. According to the article as well, Path of Exile 2 is slated to release at the end of next year in 2020, but it's still possible it may take a little longer. Conquerors of Atlas is a new expansion that will be coming out on December 31st. In this expansion, players will be able to socket the Atlas and upgrade their maps, new endgame storyline content, 4 new item influence types, support gems, and many other things are expected to arrive. More information can be found from their website at pathofexile.com. Lastly, it was announced that Path of Exile will now be available for the Android and iOS. Funny enough, people at Grinding Gear Games told Massively OP that they decided to announce this at the last second at the convention because there was another infamous
Do you guys not have phones?
Yeah, you guys all have phones, right?
But I don't think the blowback from this announcement was nearly as bad as Blizzard because they still had content for their main audience, who are the PC and console playing players. Telling players that a mobile version of the game they love is coming out along with more content for the version that's already out makes it seem like it's an addition to or a bonus rather than feeling like the company is abandoning its player base with a game they didn't even ask for. And I think it's pretty evident looking at their YouTube page. If you look at their like to dislike ratio, their like ratio is super high. Overall, I think people liked what they saw and had a positive response from both players and the press. Admittedly, I have somewhat of a soft spot for games like Ninokuni. I remember playing this game with other adventure-like JRPGs such as this one. I still don't know how to pronounce it till this day. I used to, but I completely forgot. Anyways, Netmarble was tasked with creating a mobile MMORPG version for this franchise, and last week's G-Star convention they released a bunch of information. The game will feature 5 classes: the Rogue, Destroyer, Witch, Engineer, and Swordsman. The game will also feature PvE in the form of a main quest and Kingdom Defense. I don't know what Kingdom Defense is. I tried looking, but I'm guessing it's some sort of MOBA game, maybe? I don't know. They'll also have real-time hack and slash combat, which I assume would probably be very similar to Terra, I would guess. The Unreal 4 engine will be utilized, bringing the cel-shaded Studio Ghibli art style to the game that it's always been known for to life. This is a game I know I could enjoy at a casual level, but unfortunately there's no word on a North American or European release. It's expected to go live in Japan during the second half of 2020, and hopefully by then we'll get news on a Western release, so I'll keep you guys posted as that information comes available. Just in case you never heard of Anthem, it's a third-person multiplayer action RPG set in a planet with ancient but also technological ruins scattered throughout the world. You use large exosuits to traverse through the regions, and the mech fan in me went giddy when I first saw the gameplay trailers go live a number of years ago. Fast forward to today, and the game is mainly known to be dead. People and critics started to really hate the game after the bugs weren't being addressed. The promised content was not being delivered, the grind to get loot was frustrating, the social media would stop posting at months at a time, and a lot of developers actually started to jump ship or outright leave. I normally won't report on rumors, but despite what you may or may not think about Jason Schreier, his sources tend to be pretty reliable, and thus this is why I wanted to mention the rumor that Anthem is on track of getting a reboot or an overhaul. Schreier said that the people connected to this new Anthem are calling it Anthem 2.0 or Anthem Next. We've seen EA claim that they're not abandoning the game, and if the rumors are true, I think it's amazing to try to breathe new life when dropping support would probably be easier. Just look at Mass Effect Andromeda. Although it's really rare, we have seen games bounce back from a very disappointing launch. Destiny from Bungie comes into mind, also No Man's Sky, but probably the most famous out of all these, in my opinion, is Final Fantasy XIV Reborn. So BioWare could learn from them and try to figure out how to implement this new Anthem. The article even played around with the idea of it being an entirely new game. On a side note, I'm thinking Bless Unleashed, because you know.
So you're telling me there's a chance? Yeah!
I appreciate BioWare trying to create a game involving something mech related, but on a personal level, I couldn't stick with the game either. However, if the rumors are true, I'd love to jump back into it in my stompy suit and doing stompy things. So this next news comes from MMOculture.com. And with the route of a lot of games, especially MMO titles, are going these days, I thought it would be worth mentioning NCSoft's new mobile emulator called Purple.
The raw egg test.
Just real quick, if you don't know what a mobile emulator is, they're programs that act like Android operating systems on your computer. This allows you to play mobile-only titles on them. Full disclosure, I actually used one called BlueStacks, hashtag not sponsored. Another popular one is Nox Player, again, hashtag not sponsored. I really enjoy playing Epic 7 and King's Raid to Dame 2. According to MMOculture.com, NCSoft made Purple to allow cross-platform play for Lineage 2M between PC and mobile devices, thus removing the platform restrictions while also optimizing NCSoft's specific games. I'm not a pro when it comes to the nitty-gritty aspects of running emulators, but I've noticed some performance issues on my PC while playing mobile games. And while watching a lot of Twitch streamers, I've also noticed performance issue on their end as well. And I guess that's just one of the sacrifices you have to make when running an emulator that's meant to run nicely with all titles. But with Purple, it's nice to know that it's been optimized by the same people who made the game, and to me that's welcome news if you're into that sort of thing. Matter of fact, the PC version of 2M will be more detailed and support 4K native resolution 60 frames per second. I know the general consensus for us PC players is that mobile titles is a terrible thing, and I agree to a certain extent. But it looks like NCSoft is going in the right direction by trying to find the middle ground or a more balanced approach for these two worlds. Yes, the experience on a PC is 1,000 times better and more immersive, but the mobile market is where companies make the most money, and perhaps this is the best way for all players where companies don't have to pick and choose.
Do you guys not have phones?
Yeah, you guys all have phones, right?
If you don't have a phone, that is. I think this alone warrants its own episode, so be on the lookout for that as well. So I've noticed while digging through and trying to find more stories related to MMOs and RPGs, in the MMO part, we all know that MMOs get updated on a constant basis. They have to because it's a game as a service in a sense. And I wouldn't really justify a lot of these updates as news, but some of them could be really interesting. So I'm just going to go ahead and create my own little segment within these news videos and just cover all the new updates to some of the MMOs that you may or may not have played, and let you be the judge in deciding whether or not you want to check it out yourself. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first update I wanted to cover is from Black Desert Online for the PlayStation 4. If you're interested in that version of the game, you can now have a fairy as a companion. They don't help you fight, but they do provide additional benefits and buffs as they level up. Fairies also have different personalities, which is a nice touch-up to give it a little bit more immersion and believability. But if the PlayStation 4 version isn't your thing, the people over at Pearl Abyss released a new crossover content featuring the anime Berserk. From November 20th to December 6th, players can experience a new questline exploring the lore behind the anime in the universe of Black Desert Online. New Berserk-related costumes for all classes have been released for a limited time in the cash shop. If you guys remember, one of the ways the people over at ArenaNet provided content for Guild Wars 2 was releasing updates through a seasonal delivery system, in part emphasizing the living world we all grown to love. But they ditched this and they went with the Saga system that allowed them to provide both larger and smaller content instead of a more regimented storyline structure. That being said, the first installment of Icebrood Saga was released today and contains new areas of the map to explore, the ancient boreal weapon set, and 3 bosses for rotating strike missions. Tina Pollock over at MassivelyOP.com wrote a pretty comprehensive review of the new content, but if you'd rather play it yourself, remember that you'll still need the Path of Fire expansion to get through the Icebrood Saga. Another crossover related content was released today, and this one is brought to you by MapleStory M and ReZero. Players will have 14 days to complete a 7-day attendance event, and will also include various rewards, including gift boxes, Puck's hat, buffs, titles, and other badges. And lastly, according to MMORPG.com, Mu Origins 2.21 update was released today. New features include the new Holy Shield, Divine Tower, accessories, jewel refining and crafting, flower gift, Denvatar's map, as well as special in-game events. The level cap is also released, along with additional floors to the Infinite Tower. And of course, there's the typical bug fixes and optimizations, currently only available for the Android and iOS, but admittedly, it does look pretty amazing for a mobile title. And there you have it for today's MMO and RPG news. My name is Solomon SK, and please consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel. Definitely comment, let me know how I could better make my videos for this YouTube channel, as I'm still growing too. And I seriously do mean what I said earlier. I hope you guys are all doing well, and I really hope that you say I love you to those you probably haven't talked to in a while, and just really follow your dreams, because when you get older, it doesn't get easier, it seems like, but you still got to do it anyways, right? So again, my name is Solomon SK, and I really appreciate you guys checking in, and I will see you guys next time. Cheers.